Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank Honorable Virendra Lal for his question. The issuing of river gravel extraction license on state lands and also from riverbeds is administered by the Ministry of Lands and legislations, such as the State Lands Act, the Rivers and Streams, and also as a result of the things that we have in the Constitution. So the ministry has a checklist which outlines all the requirements that is required for those that are applying for this river gravel extraction license. In this checklist includes the need for people to actually send an application to the Director of Lands, which they have to provide a locality map of the proposed extraction site. There's a fee that has to be paid of around $32.70. They have to organize the waiver of fishing rights, owner's consent, with not less than 60% of the owners to be 18 years and above, and that is also stamped and endorsed by the Rokotui. There needs to be an agreement between the landowner and the licensee so that he can have access into the river. That has to be in place. There has to be an approval from the Department of Environment on the EIA, or the EMP, the Environmental Management Plan. There's also a need for a resources assessment report, basically to look at what the quality of the resource is and what the quantity of the resource. And also an ID of the TIN or driver's license, and details also of the companies, including its registration certificate, the schedule of directors, and the shareholders. All of these things have to be provided by the applicant. Once it's provided, this is lodged with our divisional officers and staff to make sure that all the requirements, and applicants will also then need to pay a fee, as I mentioned, that fee of $32.70. If the applications are not complete, it will be returned, and the applicants will be advised of what else they need to provide. And in addition to this, there's also a field inspection that is undertaken. Papers, but also making sure that whatever is in the application is consistent with what is on the ground. In their field report, they look at the environmental condition of the area in which extraction has to take place. They will check out the access to the river, and ideally, when these inspections take place, it's ideal that a member of the land owning unit or the Matikali heads are also present on site during the discussion. We have resource officers who will then go through and make the recommendations for the Director of Lands to approve this, and the Director of Lands has the power to approve it. And if there's anything that is lacking, then that notification will be given to the persons that apply. Once it's all signed off, it is also then forwarded to the Registrar of Titles for registration. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a total of around 31 active licenses in total, although we do have an issue sometimes of illegal extraction of river gravel.
I give the floor to the Honourable Dr. Philippe Tuisawa for a supplementary question.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. Supplementary question. Honourable Minister, what are the monitoring and evaluation frameworks, mechanisms in place after the operation starts, given the current issues on riverbank erosion, not only for gravel extraction, but also in areas where there's sand extraction? Vinaka.
Honourable Minister,
thank you. Thank you. That particular aspect, when the operation takes place, there's any issues to do with the environment, then the ministry works with the Director of Environment. Anything that, for instance, things that you talk about. If there's anything to do with the rate at which the river gravel is being extracted, that is looked by our own resource officers. They will look and make sure also that the licensee does not encroach, that they don't go outside the boundary that they've been given, that they adhere to the conditions of the license, and we also monitor illegal river gravel extraction occurring within the various divisions that we have. So this sort of monitoring occurs on a monthly basis. We expect our officers to visit each of these sites once a month to make sure that environmental issues are in order and also the conditions of the license are being met. For the rights to access that area, I believe that there is professional assessment by those that have the expertise in this area, which I believe, I stand to could be corrected by my staff, it would have to be the people that the Department of Fishing, because it's basically to compensate you for the loss of what you could have caught from that river for your daily substance or sustenance. Sorry.
Thank you. We'll move on.